Hello, today I'm going to show you how to draw your characters flying. Hello, my name is Philip and welcome to Totally Amazing. Today I'm going to show you how to draw your characters flying in the air, looking all majestic and amazing. So what you want to think about is when your character is flying, what bits are more in front? Is your character flying straight in front of you? Is it flying straight up like that? Is it more of an angle? We're going to be drawing today someone on more of an angle like this. So when you're thinking about that, what parts are in front more? The fist is more in front, so it's going to be a lot bigger, and the feet are going to be further away, so they're going to be more small. So how do we do this? What's some good tools to help us? I'm going to show you in just a sec. So for today, we're going to need a pencil, a rubber, a marker to ink down stuff at the end, and of course we're going to need some paper. First of all, what I want to do is I want to put myself a guide. So I'm going to draw a wedge. I'm going to make sure my body fits within this shape, and it's going to show me where the bits are closer and a little bit further away. Let me show you what I mean. So first of all, I'm going to draw my guides. So I'm going to have a guide for the shape of the chest. I'm going to draw an upside down egg for the head. He's going to have a hand over here, which is going to come up like that. Another hand this way. Now you'll notice if I follow my wedge shape, the things are going to start to get a bit smaller. So I've got my pelvis down here, and then the legs are going to come, following the weight of the wedge, the legs are going to come down this way. Now notice the legs are sort of getting smaller. They look like they're getting smaller as they're further away. That's because the wedge helps guide me where I'm going. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my leg, one of my legs, crossed over. So I'm going to put in a crossed over leg like that to make it look a bit more interesting. But I've still got my guides here. So that's my leg that I'm going to be drawing. This one I don't need to draw. So now I'm going to put in more, flesh him out a bit. So I'm going to just put in my neckline. So we're going to have a neck here. And so we've got our chest this side. So what we're going to do is going to make sure that it joins up to that hand. We've got our muscles over here. Whereas this side I've got my muscles over here. So now I'm going to connect this side to from the top to the bottom, like that. And I'm going to put in my legs and feet like that. Now this leg is going to come back and it's going to have a foot over here, thinking like a triangle. So now I've got the basics modeling of what my shape's going to be doing. So now let's start putting on the details. So I'm going to go with my chest first. Now this part of this pectoral muscle, because the arm is up, it's going to be stretched up more because that's what the muscle's movement is going to be. So let's put the stretch up like so, and this muscle is going to be over here. Got our bicep here. Now this muscle is going to come around. So we've got our back muscles coming around. We've got our armpit in here, and it's going to come around to our tricep, bit of an elbow, and then we've got our forearm. Now let's put in some details for the hand. If you want to learn how to draw hands, I've actually done a tutorial on that as well, which goes into a lot more detail, you might find interesting. There's this side over here for the other pec, which is going to connect to our shoulder muscles. We've got the basics of our bicep and tricep here, and then the forearm. It's going to be covering most of it. And this one I'm not going to see too much of the hand, because it's mostly going to be hidden by the angle. So I'm not going to see the thumb. Alright, so there we've got our top torso. Now let's start working on the lower part. So we've got our abs over here. The chest is going, the rib cage is going to be down a bit, so I'm going to make sure that that sticks out a little bit more. Now we've got this leg. And we come back. For our foot, and now we finish off with the back of the leg. Now notice how they're getting smaller the further away we go, so making things a lot thinner. Alright, so we've got a good shape here for our body. I'm just going to put on a little bit of a face now. Now the face is going to be looking up, so it's going to be more of a curve for my eye guides. like this, going to come in and out, bring that down for the jaw. And we're going to see a little bit of the nostrils because the head's facing up a bit. Give him a bit of a smile, he's happy to be flying. And who wouldn't be? If you could fly, you'd be pretty happy too, wouldn't you? He's bright-eyed. And the hair is going to be waving backwards because he's moving very fast, so the hair is going to be sort of flowing backwards a little bit. So we're going to see some motion heading towards the back. Some guides here. Bring the hair back. And bring it around like that. Now I'm going to give him a cape. So I'm going to follow the shoulders. Bring that around. I've got the cape flowing nicely. And bring that back. I'm going to just flow that a little bit more, make it a little bit more interesting. The more flowy you can make it, the more bellowy, it makes it look more interesting, makes it look like there's more motion. And bring the lines of the cape back in, like that. Just the top of the cape. Connects like that. Alrighty, so there we've got the basics of our character. He's flying, but now we've got to just put in some motion lines to make it look like there's more dynamic action, just flying towards our page. So what we're going to do, we're going to look at our wedge and see how it sort of the lines are coming in. So where they meet, that's going to be the vanishing point. So we want to make sure that all our lines would eventually meet to that point there. That's what's going to help make it look more dynamic. And it shows the character's coming from one direction, one point. Whereas if the lines are all going on all different directions, you don't know where it's coming from. Is he flying this way, that way? Who knows? If they all come to one point, it helps to show that our character's flying from one direction. Makes it look more interesting. Makes it look more realistic too. Well, not that we see lines when we move, but it's a comic and you get the idea. All right, so we've got all our pencils down. Let's start inking our character. So there you go, guys, the basics on how to draw a character flying in the sky. Looks pretty cool, doesn't it? So remember, what you want to have is that wedge. That'll help to determine your parts of the body, what parts are more closer, what parts are further away. Now remember too, it works the other way around. If your character's flying this way and the head's over here, you'll notice the legs and the feet are going to be bigger, whereas the head and the arms are going to be much smaller because they're heading towards the wedge. So your wedge helps define which way your body is going. So there you go, guys. I hope that's given you some good tips on how to draw your character flying. Remember, where's the wedge? So I hope you got something out of today's video. If you did and you want to see more content like this, like, subscribe, and ring that bell button so you can be notified as soon as more stuff comes out. It's going to be awesome. Also, by the way, I have my own comic. It's called Antispy. There's a link down below. Check it out. It's awesome. Other than that, guys, thank you for joining me here today on Draw Something Flying Majestically. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now. Action. Our character's flying towards our... Whee! So I hope you got something out come out. That was really good, but I sort of mumbled a little bit, so let's do that again. Questions are more common. If you did and you want to see more content like this, do something. Like,